Looks like we are live on the T podcast today. We have a great episode. We're going to be talking with Carly Viator Courville, or just straight up Carly Courville, the marketing director at Festival International. And then we got Jamie Boudreaux, who is I have the title here. It is the Chief Communications Officer at LCG. So that's really cool. We have them in the studio today to talk about Festival International, all the good things happening with that. And it's going to be a great episode. This episode is sponsored by Optimize GP. Optimize GP is the Optimize Generator people. They are a great local sponsor. If you're looking to power your home with confidence during any outage, because we have outages here, especially during hurricane season, you can expect that. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's 2 weeks long. Do you really want to be out of power for 2 weeks? I don't think so. So Optimized Generator People specializes in reliable home standby Generac generator solutions and expert service. They really do have great service. I've seen their awards in person at their office. They're a top 5 dealer of Generac dealers in the U.S. So great local company. Control your power, control your life. Check them out at optimizegp.com. You can get started with a whole home generator for like $600 with a payment plan after that. But yeah, $600 is all you need to get started. And with that, let's get the show started. All right, so the conversation is about to get started. I want to go ahead and get Chase Group Construction mentioned here. Chase Group is a great local sponsor as well. All local sponsors. If I get a national sponsor, that'll be cool as well, but we like the local ones better. Chase has been with me on this podcast journey for a while. He's a great sponsor. They design and build businesses. They built multiple different businesses around the Lafayette area and still building a lot of things. You probably don't realize it, but they built a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of great local construction companies. But Chase Group Construction design and build multiple different restaurants, medical centers, multi-unit shopping centers, like you name it. And they usually put signs in front of their projects too. So there's a lot of cool things to watch out for. Some big announcements coming that haven't been mentioned yet for some pretty big brands locally that Chase Group is involved in building. So really cool thing there. And so really appreciate their business. ChaseGroupConstruction.com. Check them out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have, again, like I said, Carly Courville and Jamie Boudreaux to talk about Festival today. So welcome to the T Podcast.
Thank you so much. Festival month here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, so for those that may not know about you guys, just go ahead and give some brief introductions and we'll get the conversation started.
You want me to go first?
Whoever wants to go first.
So like you said, I'm the marketing director for Festival International, which is a culture sharing celebration through food, music, and art here in Lafayette. We bring in about 300,000 attendees each annual year. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am in communications over at LCG, or Lafayette Consolidated Government, and really work just to make sure that the people of Lafayette Parish stay engaged and aware of all the things that we have going on around town. And we know Festival is one of them, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. So, Jamie, you've been involved with Festival a pretty good amount of time. Like, when did you first get involved with Festival?
Yeah. So I guess I started volunteering probably a little over 10 years ago. My time in college, I went to school at LSU, but I would still come home and volunteer just because I love Festival. I grew up with it. It was always such a fun event to attend. And even when I lived out in Atlanta, I would come home for Festival, right? So spent a lot of time as a volunteer before I was able to join the board, which was an awesome experience. I had to roll off not that long ago, had a baby, and life got crazy, right? But I've spent a lot of time with Festival, I guess, in different volunteer and working capacities, whether it was my board positions or, used to work for downtown too. So really engaged in that space. And it's just incredible to see the energy around Festival. We all talk about it, right? We just raised the Festival flag at City Hall this week, and we were saying, man, I can't believe it's already April, and that festival vibe, everybody gets in the season as early as April, the beginning of April, really, to kick it all off. So it's really exciting to see that come to life.
Yeah. So the first few minutes here, I want to kind of keep it introduction wise to you guys and kind of establish, and we kind of did this before in multiple episodes, but I get new followers all the time, so they may not know about you guys personally. Carly, are you originally from here?
So my family's from Louisiana, but I was raised north of Nashville in a small little country town called Portland, Tennessee. And my family always talked about Lafayette and festivals, and we were like the weird Cajuns in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. And so eventually they were like, we're moving back. That's it. And so I was like, all right, let's do it. So I transferred to UL when I was 19. And I met my husband the first week I moved here somehow, and just kind of fell right into all the culture that I had been missing my whole life. And I've just felt so at home. I guess I've been here like almost 16 years now.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm from here 100%, but it is cool to go home, and I do miss the hills. But so I'm a little hybrid.
So Portland, Tennessee.
Portland, Tennessee.
Wow.
I love that little
It's by Kentucky.
So just north of Nashville, huh? I mean,
It's 30 minutes, but boy, is it different from Nashville.
Oh, I bet. I mean, is it kind of more country-ish?
It's very country. Very country.
Did you go barefoot a lot?
Yeah, I still do.
She still does. Well, you live in Arnoldville. Arnoldville, yeah. Grancato, yeah.
Yeah, I tried to live in New Orleans for a while, and you cannot be barefoot. I learned it's not safe. I was like, I gotta go. But it was not a good idea.
Yeah.
So I was like, take me to Grancato. And I'm just 20 minutes from downtown, and it's a perfect setup for me personally.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds. So yeah.
Good. Jamie, with the last name like Boudreaux, you would assume that you've been here all your life, but you mentioned Atlanta. Are you originally from here, or is that a married name?
Originally from here, and my maiden name's Abear, so it doesn't get more Cajun than that. Abear, Marion, and Boudreaux. And in fact, the running joke is my husband has family that they were Boudreaux and Thibodeaux all in the same family. So
you got it going on.
Super Cajun. Cajun.
Yeah, like the legit gumbo there.
Yeah, all the things. But born and raised here. Lived in Lafayette my whole life, and then I did move away for a little bit. I guess right after college for a bit, and then I've been back since.
Okay, so what were you doing in it? You said Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
What were you doing in Atlanta?
Man, you had to bring it up, huh? I worked for the Dirty Birds. I worked over for the Atlanta Falcons and worked at the stadium there, and my very Cajun family always gives me a very hard time about it. So it's okay. It's okay. I had a good time. Did a lot of events and
That's great.
Event production, marketing, communications, all those great things in the ATL.
So we have a trip. I've never been to Atlanta, at least off of the highway. Like whenever in 2005, I rode with my dad in a 18-wheeler. We passed through Atlanta going into, I think it was Charlotte. Is that North Carolina? South Carolina. Either way. We passed through Atlanta, and I thought it was cool, but like I only know Atlanta from what people have told me and what I've seen on TV. My wife watches this TV show. It's straight up trash TV, and if she's watching, she's probably laughing, but she watches The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, and Atlanta has, according to that show, it seems like a very cool vibe. But we have a trip coming up where we want to go, kind of like the before summer trip. Then we have a summer trip, and we're like planning our stay there, and we're trying to figure out what to do. Obviously, we're doing the big things. I think the aquarium, because it's like one of the biggest in the world.
Yes.
And I think maybe the Coca-Cola Museum or whatever is there. Yeah. We're staying in downtown at one of the high-rise hotels because in fact, it was like one of the least expensive versions. Like they were running a deal, so I was like, cool, we get to stay in a high rise. That would be at the high floor because I think you had to pay more for that. But tell me about Atlanta and kind of what to expect about that city.
Sure. So I worked in downtown a whole lot. In fact, fun fact, I did work at the aquarium. It is the largest and it's a super cool place. So totally check that out. The interesting thing about Atlanta, which I quickly learned, my brother still lives there, nieces and nephews are there, and it still has a very urban city feel when you're in the downtown area, and obviously the population's massive, right? We're talking like 6-7 million people that are living in Atlanta.
That's crazy.
But I will say there are a lot of different suburbs and little boroughs that all have their distinct identities. They've got their own cultures, music pop-ups, food, all kinds of great things like that you wouldn't expect to get in a really big city like that. Kind of like a New York kind of little borough vibe. And I will suggest you check out the Beltline. So the Beltline is an entire path that's throughout the city of Atlanta. They basically took over old railroads and railways that were no longer being used, adopted them into a park conservancy, and now there's development happening all around the old railroad system.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, 12-foot paths all around the city that you can walk, bike, you could just navigate without having to get on the main roads.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Little plug there. I mean, we're working on something kind of similar here in Lafayette, which is cool. But the Beltline's awesome. So check that out while you're there. You'll enjoy it. There's a bunch of little like shops and food places and drink places, and it's awesome.
Well, we're there for 3 nights, so we have very limited time to do a whole lot of exploring, but I'm going to keep that in mind. We're also bringing my little 8-year-old boy, so a lot of it's going to be dictated on like what his vibe is and like what he wants to do. Aquarium number 1, and then we're just kind of fill it out from there. But that's cool. So I heard it's also a city in the forest. What is that name about?
Oh, I've never actually heard that one.
Okay.
But Piedmont Park is the biggest park in Atlanta, and it is a really beautiful green space that has all sorts of things. There's a botanical garden, and like, it's awesome.
So this is not an Atlanta podcast, but just to establish, I wanted to get your take on it because I've interviewed a lot of people in the past few months that have all mentioned Atlanta. I'm like, what about Atlanta? Now, like, even my neighbors, their family comes in, they're from Atlanta. I'm like, why is Atlanta like being injected into my
Are you about to
sphere?
move there and do developing Atlanta?
Absolutely
Stay
not.
here.
No, absolutely. Like, I love Lafayette too much. Do I think Lafayette deserves way more than what it has? Yes. Big city stuff that Lafayette needs, it's appreciated when I go out of town and visit bigger cities. I love Houston. There's areas of Houston that I don't love, but for the most part, it's really cool. And so I'm excited to go to Atlanta and experience that. But that's a good chance to like see what's there, see what people are gravitating to, see what makes that city nice, and see how to make Lafayette have something like that.
Yeah, bring it home.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And when you go and travel and having lived there for about 6 or 7 years in Atlanta, when you come home, there's a couple of things that happen, right? You realize the things that are truly incredible about this place that you cannot replicate anywhere else. And you recognize some of the things that we're already doing that are, comparable, if you will, to those areas that are in motion. And so it gets you excited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, good. Have a good time.
Going back to you, Carly, we have a few more minutes before I get to my next sponsor. What is a city that you've visited or may have temporarily lived in that you find exciting, that makes you appreciate coming back to South Louisiana?
That's a good question, because my brain was more thinking of what I would want to bring back here. But when I'm gone a long time, I do always miss the flavors and so forth. Can I instead answer a place that had things that I think would be cool here?
Absolutely.
Obviously, I love it here. I came back and I'm in it for the long haul. But I went to Rotterdam in the Netherlands probably like 6 years ago. And there was so much that inspired me. And I was like, I want all of this to come back. One big thing that I think Lafayette would be really cool to incorporate was like rooftop gardens and like rooftop accessibility and like getting up there and just utilizing those spaces.
I thought you were going straight rooftop bar at first.
But also that, absolutely. Like I went to a bar, I went to a restaurant, and my husband's an architect, and I'm like, I'm going to need more rooftops. They even had, one of the restaurants had like bees that they were beekeeping on top of the restaurant. And I just find Europe in general, but the Netherlands was really cool about sustainability and, you know, just design. So that was really inspiring for me. And that's what popped in my head while y'all were talking. So,
you know,
and bikes, gosh, biking.
Oh yeah. Well, we already know that, you know, in the States, it's heavy car traffic.
Yeah.
Heavy car traffic.
And biking's dangerous, which bums me out, but I still do it.
Yeah, especially on Johnson Street. Like people ride, and I freak out every time I'm about to leave a business on Johnson Street, because I'm so focused on making sure that there's no traffic coming this way that I need to also keep in mind that there might be a bicyclist coming the other way. And I was sitting at a restaurant once and I saw a bicyclist get hit. Thankfully, nothing fatal or dangerous, but an ambulance was called. He was put in there, checked out. Thankfully, he got out of the ambulance. He was fine, but still, like, I was like, that's bad. Like,
you really got to do that left, right, left again.
You got
maybe a couple times,
multiple times,
and the little mirrors.
Yeah,
sure.
And then my wife and I, we were at another restaurant off of Louisiana Avenue, and it was like a highway stop, and they had a bus of I don't know if this is the appropriate term. I'm just going to say a bus of blind people or partially blind people. They all had their walking sticks and everything. And we were watching them leave the restaurant and go back to the bus. And in the parking lot, there was a decent amount of parking lot traffic. My gut, every time they crossed, I was like, dang, they are just confident. But my wife was like, I'm so scared of them. I'm like, they could hear so good though. Like they could probably hear the engines and tires.
It's so impressive to watch.
Yeah. And like even down Johnson Street by UL, you'll see, a bunch of people walking that are just either they are partially blind or all the way blind, and like they're just cruising. Like I'm like, good for them. But yeah, so I don't know how we got off that tangent, but
downtown is more, I feel like, bike friendly
definitely.
and progressive. And that made me think of, for Festival International, we have a bike valet that is set up for free or donation based, thanks to Bike Lafayette. And you can absolutely bike downtown. And I feel like it's such a great option because there's not really traffic downtown. Like you park and there's not, the roads are all blocked off. So biking's a great option, and I love to see it, starting to become more of a thing here. And we just need the drivers to understand that biking exists outside of downtown.
Oh yeah,
and then we're cool.
And don't have a situation where the whole population of Lafayette needs to vote if there's a bike lane installed or not.
Oh gosh, no.
We're not going to go there, but it's highly rejected typically.
We could have a whole nother conversation all about biking.
We really could.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. I wish Lafayette was more bikeable. We were talking before we went live. I live in Karen Crow. Whenever I first moved here in 2010, driving or riding a bike on the frontage road was easy. Before Super One, Walmart, all that,
right.
And now I wouldn't do it. Like it's crazy. But anyway, biking is hard. We did get a comment from a Sandra Townsend. Love all and God bless. Thank you for that.
Oh, love you, Sandra.
Thanks, Sandra.
And with that, we are at about 18 minutes in. So I want to go ahead and get my next sponsor in, and then we will cruise right on into the festival conversation and all of that stuff and get deep into it. So the next sponsor is the Music Academy of Acadiana, Acadiana's top choice for music lessons. So if you're, speaking of music with the festival, if you're looking to learn music, you can be young, you can be old as dirt. You can learn music at any point in time in your life. You may not, they also teach voice. Older people might have a little bit tougher time, improving your voice. Your vocal cords harden up as you age, but you can also learn the behind the scenes stuff. If you want to learn audio production, they teach that there. Drums, violin, saxophone. If you want to pull a little Kenny G, they teach all that. But yeah, it's a great local school. about 500 students in and out each month. They have an award-winning recording studio that's a separate business within the business. So they actually record some major artists in the area there. You just don't realize that because you're probably thinking, oh, you go to a bigger city to record. They do that locally. Great local school, Music Academy, Acadiana.com. Check them out, and we really appreciate them. Okay. So let's talk about festival. What is just gun blasting right now? What's new at festival this year?
Well, on April 1st, that marks festival month, of course. So the celebrating starts. The mobile app came out, which is powered by Home Bank. They helped us bring our app back, and it really gets better every year. So be sure to download that in your app store. And within there, you can start to build out your schedule, what exactly you want to see, and you can actually integrate it right into your calendar right there. So when you're at festival, you're getting caught up, you get little notifications.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. And with that tool, you can also pick your volunteer shifts and plan it around your schedule, and you can volunteer within the app as well. And there's some cute new photo frames in there that you can lay over your pictures that Home Bank provided. That's a new thing. And another cool thing within the app is KRVS is doing the live stream again this year. Thanks to Diverse Studio for helping them make that happen, because that's a big production. So the Friday through Sunday, if you're anywhere in the world, or if you just haven't headed downtown yet or whatever, you can tune in and listen. And we're also going to be lacing in some interviews and some tidbits of history and things like that are all festival related. So it's like one big festival program that you can tune into. So if I haven't made it downtown yet, I turn it on 88.7, but you can also do it in the app, or KRVS's app. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So with the app, you can, of course, look at all the lineup and the music spots and know where to go. Sign up to volunteer. Is there, you have bracelets to pay
Correct.
for things. Are you able to do anything with payment in the app?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our wristbands have gotten so easy. It's just like having a debit card. You don't have to preload it up or anything anymore. So the wristbands are free. First Horizon provides those, which is awesome. And you just pick them up on site, or you can get them in advance at Parish Inc. downtown, beginning in about a week. So anyway, you go in the app, or you can do it on site. But in the app's easy. You don't need anyone's help. You just put in your unique user ID and link your card, and you're good to go. You can keep up with your budgeting in there, or you can just not pay attention and have a blast, whatever fits your personality. But that's another amazing feature within the app. It's just all in there, right at your fingertips.
Yeah, so all the financial stuff you can take care of in the app.
Yes.
That's actually, has that always been a thing though?
It has been, since we got the wristbands.
Okay, cool.
But it's just so much easier now because the development has just evolved with what you can do with the wristbands, and not having to re-top up or anything like that. It's just like a debit card. Boop.
Okay, so you don't have to reload it.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
If you just
super
link
easy.
your card, it's good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that works for the food vendors and the drinks that you can buy on site, which directly support the festival. That's where you get your little souvenir cups and the merchandise.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
So that's some of the new things. I want to go ahead and kind of, for those that may not know about festival, maybe they just moved here, give us a very summarized version of the history of festival. Obviously, it's from, 1986 when it was created, right?
89.
89? I thought it was older than that.
Yeah, it started the year my parents... No, yeah, you're right. My parents moved to Tennessee. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, 40 years next year.
Yeah, 40 years next year. You're
Dude,
right.
That's wild. Okay, the only reason I know this and I remember that number is because I was born in 1986.
Yeah.
So I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm aging as long as this festival is crazy.
I mix it up with my birth year and my brother's. You're exactly right. The 40th next year, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. With volunteer and community pushing behind it to make it continue. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, we've been talking about what was in the water, 40 and 50 years ago. There was so much going on and so much being established, right? ACA celebrated their anniversary year. Festival's coming up on their 40th. So it's really cool to see things that were planted back then that are still absolutely fruitful today, and how they've kind of come along with the times and modified things, but still at the root of them, right? Festival Acadiana Creole, same thing. People are still loving it and thriving in it. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And with all the things that have happened, COVID, et cetera, Festival International started during the oil bust to help boost the economy, revitalize downtown. And it's just amazing to see how well that's worked. And I'm just so proud of our founders, for having the concept, but keeping it alive and, bringing so much to our community financially, mentally, the happiness it brings, even during COVID. Things were dark and hard, but like our team worked through it and tried to like bring some magic to people at home. And it's just such a interesting thing.
Yeah. So you mentioned COVID and that the dreaded was one of the other dreaded C words. But what's really, like you mentioned, you made it through that with Festival. Where are you guys at now? Obviously, we're 5 years away from having COVID started. Are we like 100% full-fledged festival as we knew it pre-COVID?
We're definitely doing well. Like, we're right where we need to be, I think. We were very fortunate during the pandemic. 20 and 21, we had to cancel and go virtual. Our sponsors stuck with us and helped us, keep things going. And then our supporters stuck with us, whether you're an AMI or a Festival Local or just buying some merchandise, a pin, doing what you can. So we're like sitting right where we need to be to move forward. And we're so lucky because so many organizations just like plummeted right into the red and had to fold. And, maybe somewhere that charges for tickets, they didn't have as hard of a time, but like being a nonprofit and raising the funds and everything, like it says a lot that our community kept us going. And our executive director I give him so many kudos, Scott Feehan. He's just such a good decision maker and stays positive, and it shows.
Yeah, Scott's pretty chill.
I love him.
We love Scott. And the operation is a massive undertaking, right? So whether it's a pandemic or it's weather or things that could impact that, it's important that fiscal responsibility is there. So between the board and executive director and all the team, they do such a fantastic job of making sure that the organization stays in a great place. And yes, without the local support, my gosh, that would have been even tougher, right?
Yeah.
So it was great to see the community come alive with that. And I do think there were a lot of great learnings in going through that process of maybe there were some things that, really resonated with locals as well as folks throughout the world that as an organization, Festival was able to say, you know what? Maybe we do keep that. Maybe we do have some more streaming opportunities or find ways to keep engaging people that may not be able to travel to downtown Lafayette, Louisiana to visit us for Festival, which is cool.
Yeah. So just to the streaming aspect, Festival streams out live for every festival now?
We stream the audio. We don't yet, but we will soon have the capability, and we've talked about it, and we'll find a way eventually
to do video.
Yeah. But AOC does come out and film, and that's what you see on the side stages. And the footage they've been getting since the beginning is what we were suddenly able to like grab and use for the virtual festival, which was really cool. So we will get it figured out eventually. I have faith.
Okay. Well, with the recent rebrand of LUS Fiber to LFT Fiber,
right,
should be pretty easy to do that.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to figuring it out because having all of our viewers from around the world during the COVID situation, they tuned in.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of entertainment organizers, if you will, whether it's sports or whether it's festivals, who are just having to reimagine what that experience looks like, right? Because at the end of the day, folks coming and physically being on site and buying merchandise and buying drinks and supporting local businesses, that's really the revenue that's needed to keep this operation alive, right? So you've got to try to strike that balance, and folks want different things. So kudos to the team for staying on top of it and trying to reinvent things without losing the integrity of the event and kind of what it's intended to do and how it started almost 40 years ago. So great job.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Not to linger too long on the streaming part, but earlier this week, maybe this past weekend, I like to like open up YouTube on my TV and just kind of see what's recommended to me. And there was something that was live that had 39,000 people watching. I was like, what is this that 39,000 people watch? And it was like live at the moment, and it was Ultra Music Festival.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, I've heard of Ultra before. Like there's like playlists for Ultra, and I love EDM music. So I was like, oh, cool. Let me hit. And it was, I don't know if y'all know the EDM artist Zed.
Only heard of them. Not really my genre, but.
Okay. Well, Zed
is
I've heard of Zed.
Or is it just a Z pronounced Zed?
It's Zedd.
Okay.
And
they
so
gotta be extra with the 2 Ds.
Yeah, I know, right? He's a young guy. He's probably like late 20s, early to mid 30s, and he's got some really well known songs. Like if you heard it, you would be like, "Oh, I've heard this song before." But yeah, 39,000 people watching, and it made me think like, "Oh, we're like music festival season." Of course, Coachella's around the corner with their stuff. Usually it's almost the same time as festival. It's like maybe a week off or give or take. Of course, that's a paid festival all the way in, what is it? No, it starts with an I in California. It's like a desert area. But yeah, it's expensive to go there. You stay in a tent for the most part.
Oh,
like
it's a whole experience.
It's a different thing.
You got to really commit.
Yeah, you got to commit. Like, anyway, the barrier to entry to enjoy Festival International is so different. It doesn't cost you anything unless you want to support it, buying a pin or supporting the vendors there. But I just thought it was like, man, just having that amount of people watching a live, even though it doesn't generate revenue per se, I thought it was really cool because I've never got to experience an Ultra Music Festival, and they were celebrating their 25th year. I was like, 25 years? I've never watched a single clip of it, and here I am joining 40,000 people. I'm like, it's kind of cool. And so like, in my living room, I'm gonna like sound like such a millennial, but I was like fist pumping in my living room.
That's awesome.
I was, and then my wife comes out of the bathroom. She was getting her bath, and she goes, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "I'm watching a music festival. It's live. There's like 40,000 people watching." And so she saw they showed the song coming up next because even though it was live, his DJ deck was streaming as well, the music lineup, and it was showing where his mixers were and the fade to the next song. And I'm like,
so fancy,
really cool. And she goes, "Oh, the song that I like is coming up." I'm like, "Well, let's hang out for a second." And so literally, my little boy, he was eating dinner. He loves to eat dinner and watch TV at the same time, and he thought he probably cringed a little bit because he saw his mom and dad just doing this. If
he did it now, he will in like a year.
Oh,
so hard.
Yeah. And he was like, "What are y'all doing?" And my wife was like, "Bennett, you don't understand. You just don't." I'm like, "This is cool." So I feel like some of that energy with Festival International, if there was a video component and it was, I guess advertised or shown that you can watch it, and there was enough people watching, I think it would carry some similar weight.
Yeah, this is a great conversation, especially with our 40th coming up. We have some really neat stuff up our sleeves, and innovating new things. We're always about that. And I think, thinking about our media partners right now, I bet we could probably make that happen. And it would be cool for a lot of reasons. You have even like artists with their families back home could tune in, and their fans back home and, learn about our event, and maybe with some sponsorships that pop up here and there. Hey, I know maybe I just need Ben to do this. So let's put it on your Put it on your agenda for next year, Mr. Fancy.
All right. I'll see what I can do to help.
I would love it.
But yeah, the playlist. I mean, look, I know video's great, but the Spotify playlist, I'll tell you, that's like my go-to just to get me in the groove, like pumped up. Yeah. Like on my drive to festival, I listen to it. I catch myself throughout the month just being like, it gets me in the zone to get psyched up for it. So
it's a quick way to
get
the vibe.
Some great little nuggets out there already in the universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so speaking of all things festival, let's talk about the lineup, because that is what most people, the biggest part of the festival, because it's a music festival. Who do you have coming on? Are there some repeat guests and like what is all happening?
We do have some repeat guests. One of which, she has a big following here, is Lisa LeBlanc, and she's a friend of mine, and she's coming to us from New Brunswick, Canada. And like I said, she's been coming here probably since I moved here, I would say, and her career has just exploded. She's amazing. She's just so fun, her energy on stage, and she's hilarious. We're really excited to have her playing, but this year will be different because it's going to be Lisa LeBlanc with a bunch of different artists from here, such as the Michaud brothers from the Lost Bayou Ramblers, Kelly Jones, and a bunch of other people. So that's going to be really special. That's a good returning act. I don't know if you're going to show the lineup video while we're talking, but the first band that comes on, it's their first U.S. tour. Okay, they're coming from Ukraine, and it's all girls except I think the drummer is a male, but it is so neat. They're called Yagodi.
Okay.
They're so cool.
And so we used them as like the hype up at the beginning of the lineup video because their music is just so unique. It's got like a traditional Ukrainian chant element combined with theatrical, combined with, you know, not quite EDM, but like some techno kind of things going on, and it's just so neat and so intense and kind of trancey. So that's an act that I am very excited about, and their costumes are beautiful. So be sure to check out Yagodi. Again, they're at the beginning of the lineup video.
I'm gonna go ahead and play it. I wanted to wait till we were hanging out on the conversation because I didn't want it to be too loud, but I'm gonna go ahead and play it now.
Oh, cool. So you can add the audio.
As the world turns, those people started to swerve. Like once again, as the world gets concerned.
And so good. I actually went to KRVS with them yesterday, and they were featured over there. So you can keep an eye out for those videos as they're released. But I'm just so happy we have another international act here locally. That makes me just very happy. So be sure to catch them at Festival International. It's their first time playing, and they're very excited.
Cool. This is I accidentally stopped the video right before it ended, but yeah, there's a bunch of good acts. What are some of your acts that you're looking forward to?
Let's see. There's so many. The two that I just named, well, the three that I just named, Babla Blues was on there. That was the second video, I believe. They're France and Morocco hybrid. That's some really cool stuff. We have a lot of great acts as well. I know Zachary Richard, for instance, has a great following here. So you can catch him, as well as some up-and-coming groups. My friends from Cheryl's will be performing. Just all kinds of good stuff.
What about you?
I'm all about just a dancing good time. So
Yeah.
I really just hop from stage to stage.
And I love that, too.
Like the awesome part too is when I was at the premiere party and watched the video roll out, and you look around the crowd, everyone is like head bobbing, like just moving and jiving, and that's my favorite part. So honestly, for me, it really doesn't matter who I listen to. I just hop around and just love to dance. And honestly, most of the ones that I visit are folks that I'm like, I've never heard of these people before.
You just read up and you run over there.
But you're like, cool, genre, yes, let's go. So that's kind of my MO at Festival.
Yeah. I align with that. Like my first few times at Festival, I was trying to fill it out, and I'm like, there's so much sounds and music coming around the corner. It's like I'm just kind of like moving to where there's a sound that sounds like something that I'm like fits the vibrations, so to speak. So and then I always go back to the one that like solidified Festival International for me, and I don't think I've ever seen them come back. Like I haven't, at least the lineups that I've seen. Beats Antique.
You always talk about them.
Always do.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I listen to that when I'm like cleaning house.
Yeah, and it's just like I've never heard of that band whenever I first went to one of my first festivals, and I was like, dude, what is going on? This is different. It's hard to explain the genre because they're like from Egypt, right, or like in that area. Yeah, I'm like.
It's a party.
It is. It's so different. Like it's very EDM-ish, but also with like this like Eastern vibe. I'm like, man. So I had to go look them up, and I saved them. And so every once in a while, I'm feeling that Beats Antique vibe. I'll go play it. And
I love it.
Usually it's around this time of year. It just makes sense. But yeah, let's talk about the food. Okay. All right. So something really cool that I think I'm going to do, and I don't think, Carly, we talked about this because this is kind of something that we are doing as a side apart from kind of what our little setup we're doing here. I'm gonna make a couple of videos, probably 5.
I'm excited. I know where this is going. That sounds great.
So we did find a sponsor for this video set.
Cool.
It's a roofing company, the Roofing Guys.
Nice.
They're going to cover the videos, essentially.
I love it. Tell them to come
I just made that up.
Tell them to come replace my roof. It needs covered.
Like they might. But so I've been doing a specific type of video, and it may not be too into that zone, but I'm going to go down to the all the areas where there's food, and I'm going to make 5 different videos trying several different tints of food.
I'm so excited.
And so I'm nervous because there might be some food that I may not typically eat on a regular basis that I try. I don't know. I'm a
seafood, no seafood.
The seafood thing. Look, if it's something that I feel like I could tolerate, not that sounds terrible, but
you might need a sidekick.
I think I will need a sidekick. I'm gonna need someone who's like, hey, I'll do the seafood thing. I'm like, cool.
Are you good at faking faces and reviews?
Have you
might
seen
need to practice.
No, he cannot fake faces.
No,
this guy.
I'm pretty visual on the face thing. Like if I don't like it, it's gonna be like, yeah, because there was a business owner. Super nice guy, local business owner, said, hey, come to my restaurant. I want you to try something. I was like, cool, I'm down. I got time. And it's a very nice restaurant in town on the south side. And they have a lot of seafood options. They have non-seafood options as well. And so he was like, look at the menu and like, let me know if you want to try anything. Like, I'm like, okay. He said, you want to try some lobster rolls or like lobster? They were rolls, but like they were fried, like wonton fried almost. But I was like, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to like make this guy feel bad.
Just say you're allergic. Come up with a spiel.
I used to do that. I used to do that. Right. But I'll be honest, I was kind of intrigued. I'm like, you know what? I like crab rangoons. That's imitation crab, I know, but I don't mind that. I said, how big is the lobster? He's like, they're not terribly big. Like, there's like small pieces inside. I said, I'll try it. And it had like sweet and spicy, like sriracha or something dip.
Sounds delicious to me.
I know,
Let me
me
tell
too. See, you need a foodie just to come along with you for festival.
Yes,
really,
yes.
you be the fest foodies. You got a sidekick who can like kind of dabble in some things you'd want to dabble in, and yeah, I think you should do
that's
that.
a good idea too.
That's what I'm
If
gonna
you
do.
need
I'm
a
gonna find
friend,
someone.
call me.
Yeah.
I love food. I'm a
if you-
foodie through
if
and
you,
through.
If you want to do it with me, that's
Let's
cool.
go.
All
Do
right.
It.
Look, I'm down. But yeah, so going back to the lobster things, I took a bite and it was good. It was good, but I'm a texture person too, and and the business owner was like, you don't have to eat it if you don't want
Oh,
it. I'm like, no, it's all right.
you're the wrong guy for this job.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
What are you
You pick
even
the
doing?
non-foodiest person to go do foodies.
Just making owners sad.
Look, no, but
Eat the
everything on
lobster and smile.
everything on his menu is great. Look, the lobster thing was amazing. In flavor, in texture, it wasn't for me, but it was great. It was high quality. I can tell. And I'm not trying to name the business or anything like that because I don't want it to be anyway. But it's a great company. It's on the south side, near Costco. Just
It's not them, it's you.
it's me. It's all me.
Maybe. I don't know.
And it's a really nice date place. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, so. But yeah, I'm gonna need a sidekick because I'm a foodie in the extent, but not enough to have a very, very well diverse palate.
Yeah.
I got invited to judge a brunch this weekend, and
in Karen Grove.
yeah, and guess what? Guess what? I said, "Is there seafood involved?" And there is. I'm like, okay.
You need to change majors.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Oh, look, okay, but I thought it was going to be like, okay, here's all the different types of French toast.
And some potatoes.
Potatoes.
Come on,
You're making
man.
me sound like the worst type of
A
foodie.
pancake.
You forget where you are? Come on.
God.
And it's
She's right,
Lent.
sidekick.
It's Lent. Come on.
And it's Lent, I know.
You need a sidekick. I'm telling you.
Look, I am
could think of
not
all
a
kinds of
Catholic, and if I was,
ideas.
I'd be the worst Catholic. I'd be like, no, I'm not. I can't follow this.
You could just eat veggies.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a shortage of options at Festival. You know
Yes.
Oh
this.
yeah, definitely.
You know this. There's a ton.
Did you see we released our food vendor list just in the last couple of days?
I did not.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
So it's in the mobile app powered by Home Bank.
Nice.
So if you visit there, you can see who all's vending, check out those restaurants, and you can also go on our website. So you can start planning out your meals if you want. Or, I'm more like y'all with your music bopping around. I just go bop around and see what looks good and where the
Yeah.
line's not too long. But yeah, we released the food and the artisan list, and within the app as well, you can, when you're downtown, it gets crazy. Like, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. And so you can use the map and see where those vendors are and just like find your way around
Yeah.
in general.
Okay. We got a comment from Shared Tables. They, I had them on the podcast a few episodes ago. They are a company that does like meal kits, Cajun inspired meal kits. So like they'll
Nice.
deliver. But so they come and they said, we would be down to support you on the seafood dishes.
Hey.
Thank you guys for that.
Hey, I don't think if I ever, maybe I told you this already, but last year I had our daughter Camille, so I had to miss Festival last year, which absolutely broke my heart. Kid you not, had a good friend go to Festival and pick like 5 or 6 things that were my staples and deliver them. I had them at my house. Talk about the best delivery ever.
Nice.
So I'm sure I would love to hear of like people's top faves. I'm sure maybe we've got some in common, but there's some absolutes. I'm right there with you with the music too, hopping around, and food as well. There's some staples that like you have to absolutely try, but there's always some little like new spots that surprise me every year. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I did not see the lineup. I need to look at it.
Yeah,
Never
check
really
it
did.
out.
So do you have the lineup in the Google Drive?
Nope.
The
The website does.
okay.
Festival International.
Well, for the food?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, it's under experiences. You go to something about food.
And so if you guys want to follow along on the website is in the caption of this video. So I'm actually headed there now. Oh, wait.
Me too.
I have the wrong Festival International on the website. It's misspelled. I'm going to correct that, guys, after the episode is over. But let me...
Festival Eats.
That's what it is. Yep.
Ooh, I love it. I'm hungry already.
I'm going to the website. Give me a second.
There it is. And my girl, Sylvie, she does so many random, amazing things at Festival International for us. And she, it's quite a vetting process to select the food vendors. If they're great and everything goes well, we will keep them around if they so choose to. Usually they do. But then, she has to vet some new ones. We make sure the quality's great. And kind of do a little background digging. We taste the food at the office. So we don't just approve anyone. That's why it's so delicious.
Oh, yeah, wow. So y'all are eating and making... so that's a good excuse to eat.
It's hard.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Quality control.
Absolutely. And same with the artists. We don't eat their art, but we do, our homework. We don't just accept anyone and everyone because we want everything to be high quality and represent our festival well.
Yeah, and on the volume side, think about how many people are served, right? So you got to be able to keep up with that too.
Yes, that's huge. Like, are they able to handle it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and read off a few of them. We got Poseidon's Greek Restaurant. We got Poop Heart's Bakery, of course. Please forgive me if I butcher this. Is it Norbert's or is it Norbay or whatever?
Surprisingly, it's Norbert's.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got it right.
All right, Norbert's Restaurant. We got Riverside, Poor Boys Riverside Inn. Go Sides. We got Fizzo's. I love Fizzo's. Destination India. Bon Creole Seafood. We got Jambalaya by Shake. I'm guessing Blue Basil. Poke Go. Mendez's. Big Wheel and Warden. We got Cafe Habana City. We got Zeus's. We got Patacone. Is that how you say it? Patacone?
You got it.
Yeah.
They're good
Aw
at this.
Shucks. Caroline's Cookies. You Mommy Bites. Asian to go. You got, so is that a pop-up or that's not a restaurant here, right?
Which one?
Umami Bites.
Yeah, I think they're more pop-up. They come in from out of town, I believe.
Okay, that's cool.
They came on the news with me last year, and I loved their team, and their food was delish.
Yeah, speaking of seafood, we got Lanyo's, King of Seafood.
Ooh.
KOK, Wings and Things. They're a great couple guys. Clambo's. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Look, I swear I only grew up an hour away from here, but sometimes I'm like, how do you say this?
You can't be good at everything.
I'm not good at pronunciation of names. Home. I can't read that logo. Cotton candy, exquisite cotton candy, exquisite gourmet. It's tiny text. Make your text bigger. Kona Ice of Karen Crow. There's a bunch. There is a bunch.
I'm glad you're reading through these. It makes me, really see it. It's pretty diverse.
That's
and
right.
We fit as many as we can downtown.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's always a grumpy Greg. I just made that up. That's going to be like, there should be more of this and blah, blah, blah. But we look at the footprint and we fit as much of everything as we can for y'all. So
yeah, well, and you also have to factor in the downtown businesses as well, right?
Yeah.
So, you're bringing in great vendors with a variety of cuisines, and then you're also encouraging folks to, patronize those places too.
there's food
So
everywhere.
There's
Come on,
everywhere.
Greg.
I know. Shared Tables also commented again. They said, and we are a sponsor of Festival International.
Love you.
Yay.
Love our festival locals.
Yeah.
That's a big thing we push with you guys over here at Developing Lafayette, trying to get them involved. And, we support you. You support us. It's such a mutual partnership. And that's what Festival International is really all about.
Yeah, because without Festival International, there would be this weird hole in the community.
I can't imagine.
No.
I don't think I'd live here.
Right?
I don't know if I would have come back or stayed,
Yeah, because it's like, even though it's once a year, there's a build up to it and there's an expectation. It's also a very nice title to have as a city with one of the largest free music festivals
In the world.
yeah. Like, I don't know if it's the largest, but I think it's one of like maybe top 5.
Yeah, if you specify music and arts, it's the largest in the U.S. that's free. But in terms of just music, it's in the top tier.
Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely something that is a shining star for Lafayette. What else is there to expect? Are there any rules that have changed over the past couple of years? Because we want to go ahead and wrap up. But other than that, like,
I do.
What should we know?
I was just going to talk a little bit about public safety,
yeah.
because obviously having an event of this magnitude in a downtown Lafayette area, making sure that people stay safe in an open air environment with a bunch of different ingress and egress access points is really important, right? So the downtown bollard system has been really great, and in fact right now, just before this year of festival, there's 20 new bollards going in, so there's multiple locations, multiple agencies that are all involved in public security and safety, and it's great. A lot of the things that are happening you don't see, which is intentional, right? You've got some security measures there, but it's about keeping people safe, and making sure that pedestrians feel that they can freely roam and just explore and not have to worry about cars and things of that nature. So there's a lot of those efforts happening, and that's an investment that the community and the city has made for this event, which I think is incredible.
Yeah, so safety, you bring that up, and actually earlier this week, I can't remember who it was, but we were talking about safety in the city and talking about the ballards and how that was like not really something you thought about, and like you would put the barricades up, and the barricades were fine.
Sure.
It just lets people know like, hey, the street's closed. But what happened in New Orleans at the first of the year, that was like, hey, there's a real possibility of something going wrong if somebody has ill intent, and knowing that there's thousands of people on a street that typically is used for cars but is closed down. If there's a way to access that via vehicle, which isn't hard if you don't have the substantial blocks, it could be bad. And so kudos to the city for putting the ballots in. I mean,
so I will say that effort started back in 2022. So
really?
It's been something that every year there's continued investment in. I do think the unfortunate circumstances that happened in New Orleans made many municipalities take a look at, okay, are there gaps and are there ways that we can improve? But it's been something that's continued to be invested in and is at a special focus with this administration. So it's great. It's good. It's needed. And, you'll see the mounted unit, so you'll see the horses out and about, which is kind of cool, and they're a fan favorite. So there's a bunch of different measures in place, but to that point, it's important for people to feel like if it's a family friendly environment, they can come, they can be safe and enjoy downtown, no doubt.
Awesome. Anything else?
Well, there's always plenty to learn at the website, festivalinternational.org. And we didn't get to talk about volunteering, so you can learn more about that on the website. And I know you've had in your family such a background with our volunteering, and you can vouch for, like, once you do it, you get hooked, and it's such a family that comes together to put this on. 1,500 volunteers come together to fill 2,500 shifts. And shout out to our board that, come out. They use their vacation time to help us mount and dismount this entire festival, and leading up to it, all the meetings and choices that they help us make. And, it's a community-driven event. So if you're volunteering, if you're showing your support by grabbing a pin, there's a lot of great ways to keep this festival around and make it your own, and help us keep driving this train.
Yeah, very much a people-powered event. And the other thing, too, as Carly mentioned earlier, is within the app, your ability to sign up for your volunteer shifts. You do not have to miss a day of festival by any means, right? Let it work for you. Work around what schedule you want and what shift you want. Sometimes some of the most fun shifts are those that are in maybe a beverage area that's got a great stage view. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds. So, folks should definitely check it out. You might be surprised at what's out there and available.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, this was a great episode. Every year I'm like, man, we talk about festival all the time, and there's a lot to talk about, but like, I don't want to feel like repetitive.
Yeah, we always talk about something new. Like last year, you got hung up talking about toilet paper for like 10 minutes. You just never know.
God.
You just never know.
What about the toilet paper?
I don't even remember. I just remember being like,
here
we're
we
talking
go,
about
here we
toilet
go,
paper for
here
a
we
long
go.
time. And then today, I got to learn some things about Atlanta.
I know, it's wild.
Yeah.
Little plug too. I am so excited. Just before we finish this, I'm so excited for the improvements at the park.
Yes.
International, the main stage.
Definitely.
Can't wait for folks to see that. It'll be kind of broken up in phases, but at least for this year's festival, you'll see some fresh paint and just feel like you've got a new, fresh look to that space, which was definitely needed. So I'm really excited about that too.
Yeah, we're
So-
super thankful.
So we're not just talking about fresh paint. We're talking about some bigger stuff happening.
Yeah, we've got, it's a lot of cleanup efforts,
Yeah.
let's be honest. You'll see some new flag displays at the top of the stage, the logo that's embedded sort of into the ground hadn't been repainted in decades. So that's getting a nice little facelift. And then the park as a whole is getting a bit more investment into it after festival. So for the 40th, it will be absolutely ready and looking beautiful for that. So excited about that. That's it's a big investment there. It's a $2 million effort.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of great work coming in.
Not small
that
change
area.
for sure.
Yeah.
Go Lafayette.
Go
Yeah.
Always on the
Lafayette.
up and up.
Yeah, look
Again,
at that.
don't just complain, y'all at home. Like really, someone's always working on something to make
Yeah.
things better, whether it's visually, economically, safety. Like it's quite an effort, and there's so many people on board making the magic happen.
Yeah.
You got that right.
There's a lot of magic happening. Well, this has been a great episode. I appreciate you ladies coming on to talk about festival and Atlanta. And apparently we talked about toilet paper last year. That I can't even remember that. What about toilet paper? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. With that, is there anything else you want to mention before we head out?
No, I think we covered a lot of great topics, and we can't wait to see everyone. Festival takes place April 23rd through the 27th.
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. We've been hyping it up, and I don't even know that we mentioned the date. So
End of
there
the
you
month,
go.
baby.
You did it.
People should know the dates.
Yes.
coming up.
Yeah. It's usually around the end of April.
One last thought. We're doing something interesting for Art Walk, which we'll be announcing in the next couple of days, but I'll go ahead and say it here. We're going to be doing like a pop-up basically at Pamplona
Nice.
because they are
Sangria.
yes. Did someone say sangria? Because they are such festival supporters. They get so excited with us. We're going to set up on their little balcony patio
Okay.
and have some surprise items for sale, but also the pin and poster if you haven't grabbed yours yet, and just come hang out. We're gonna be blasting the playlist for this year.
Okay.
And we encourage you to come support Pamplona and hang out with us, support your festival, and get some goodies early. And it's festival month, so
Yeah.
we're going
Love
for
it.
it.
So you mentioned the pin and poster. I want to go ahead and I cannot for the life of me end this episode without showing that. So this is the
Please do.
poster here. I'm zooming in way too much. God forgive me. Okay. It makes me look. I don't know how to work a computer. There we go. Okay. So is it still the pin? Who's the designer of that again?
So the pin and the poster are based off of the original artwork.
Yep.
So this year we have Patrick Henry, who is based in New Orleans. He's from Jamaica,
Nice.
and I love him. I love his artwork. He kind of does like a 3D wooden pop out element to a lot of his artwork. So he went for that on the poster. And it's a new perspective, I say, because it's at the street view and it's showing what's going on in the street, all
Yeah,
the
I
people
love it.
coming together. And we focused on putting the kids at the forefront because they're just so important to our event and they're our future. And the bubbles, I just love what he chose to roll with for this. And then the pin and the poster, a graphic designer here that does a lot of work, Burton Duran.
Yep.
He took Patrick Henry's artwork and turned it into the pin and poster, which you can grab to commemorate our 39th festival.
Yeah, that poster is very lively, man. That
I
is-
love all the colors.
I love it. I love the poster every time. I got one of them behind me. You can't see it on camera, but I love that one too. So it's just, yeah, they're great.
Yeah, we'll have the mini posters like you have on your wall here, Ben, available again this year, which is cool because eventually you're going to run out of space. I know some people have them like everywhere. So it's kind of neat to have the small option or to buy someone as a gift.
Yeah. So that poster was provided to me by the designer, the artist. I had him on the podcast at one point. And
Dusty?
Yeah, Dusty. And
he is awesome.
He is a character. He is. All artists are very unique in their mannerisms.
Yeah, he's like a crazy person in a great way.
Yeah, like and he's super vibey, and I'm like, man, he was super nice to let me have one of those, and I was grateful. And I think it might be signed. I can't just look at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have been keeping it nice and safe. And I said, I know I have the festival episode coming up. I said I wanted to try to put it somewhere visible, but I was like, there really isn't a great spot because I don't have a stand for it. So I put it up there, but it's not visible on camera. But anyway, it's there in spirit for me. But yeah, I try to have the artist on every year. This year, I'm booked up like all the way until June. So with that, I don't want to go on a tangent. I think we're done with this episode. I think we're good.
Thank you so much for having us always. And again, congrats on everything you're doing and supporting our community.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bon Festival.
Yeah.
Bon Fest.
All right. You guys have a good one. Also, if you're in or around the downtown area for lunch today, and if you want to witness a potential show, there's something happening at Sundays. Tentatively, I don't know. I think it's still happening, but apparently there's some sort of protest. Either way, come downtown, get some lunch. You might see a show. Anyway, with that, we'll see you on the next one. You guys have a great weekend.
Adios. You too.
Bye, Ben.